I'm not sure what Arthur Smith did to fix Russell Wilson, but he fixed him, and Russell Wilson looks like prime Russell Wilson in Seattle. And Mike Tomlin deserves a ton of credit for benching Justin Fields for Russell Wilson. Let's take a look at the film against the Commanders and give Russell Wilson a grade. There are two big differences between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, and this play shows why Mike Tomlin made the move. This throw is not even Russ's best throw of the day. He threw George Pickens open. That is one thing that Justin Fields did not do. But also what Justin Fields didn't do is find the open man. Now, I love the concept here. I think Arthur Smith is a much better offensive coordinator than he is a head coach. I don't know what happened in Atlanta, but I don't know why he wasn't doing any of this with all the playmakers they had. I guess they didn't have the quarterback. But the concept is basically going to be the tight end's just going to come across the middle here. And then George Pickens is going to run a fade route here. And then this guy is going to run an out route. And then what they're going to do is they're going to use their other tight end here and come across the middle up top. So what this is going to do is take this safety away. It's going to take this linebacker away because he's going to come back down. He's passing him off to the safeties. This safety is supposed to be over here. I'm not sure what he's doing, especially with the too high man. And George Pickens has a one-on-one, and that is one thing that Russell Wilson does throughout the game. He trusts his receiver, his best receiver on the team, to go and make a play. And he threw it up, realizes he has a one-on-one. He doesn't care, puts it in the only place that George Pickens can get this ball. And the adjustment by George Pickens. No wonder why he was mad when he wasn't getting the ball with Justin Fields. I'd be mad too, because he makes these kinds of plays every single week. And I guarantee he is the happiest person on this team because there is no chance that Justin Fields tries to make this throw. And this video is not about Justin, but I just want to give credit where credit's due to Mike Tomlin. Like, I didn't believe that Russell Wilson was going to be much better. I was one of those skeptics, but when you can place a ball like this, I mean, I guess they saw it in practice. Great work by Russ. This is another prime example of why Mike Tomlin went to Russell Wilson, because of that veteran presence, and it's all showing on this play. And this only worked because of Russell Wilson being that veteran and knowing what's coming before it happens. So I clipped it off too early, but 88 was over here. He motioned him across over here, and Russ is looking at this motion to see what the defense is running. He's going to recognize that this player follows him all the way over here, and watch Russ's eyes right here. He is staring at him and immediately recognizes that it's man-to-man. He's checking into the second, third, fourth, however many plays that he gave the offense. He's like, this is man-to-man coverage. This play is going to work. Checks into it, and the play is very simple. It's just a pick play. They're going to use George Pickens and just run him in the middle of the field to take away two people. They take away two people with George Pickens in the red zone. He is such a threat. And then what they're going to do is 11 is just going to run a comeback route. Basically, what he's going to do is pick off this guy right here, and then 88's just going to run an out route right here, and it's wide open, works to perfection. And this does not happen. This play is not completed unless Russell Wilson checks into this play. Look how wide open he is. Great job by 11 here on this pick play. He came back and looked at Russ. That is huge. He didn't stand in front. He turned his body, made sure he wouldn't get called for the penalty, and it opens up 88 right here. Easy touchdown, perfect read from Russ, and a great check and a touchdown. And an underrated part of Russell Wilson's game is his legs, and he didn't use them very much in Denver, and I'm not sure why, but he's brought it back to Pittsburgh. He's doing everything he can to win games for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you love to see it for Russ. I mean, here, this play could have worked. There was pressure, so we're in the third down. There's pressure, and Russ has to escape. But this play, honestly, might have worked. George Pickens is going to run down the field here. He's basically going to be a decoy. And then Mike Williams is going to run like an out, like kind of like a double move. And he actually becomes open here because this safety is dropping back for Pickens. And then this guy actually passes off Mike Williams and he runs open, but the pressure was there. There wasn't enough time. This guy's just going to run across the middle here. He's not open either. Nobody really gets open on this side of the field, and that's the only spot that Russ could have maybe gone. And then Jaylen Warren comes out right here. And Russ is going to run for a first down here. This is a third down, critical third down in this game. And he picks it up with his feet. He's going to see the pressure, steps up into the pocket. He's keeping his eyes down the field. What I'm surprised of, I thought for sure he was going to let this one loose. But I see why, throwing across your body, it's a tough throw, maybe intercepted. So I still like the decision. And then to use your legs and get outside of this guy right here, using your eyes to force him back inside here, and that opens a lane here, and he picks up the first down. Great job by Russ, man. This is such, if he can play like this all year, I don't understand why the Steelers cannot be Super Bowl contenders. And I'm a Ravens fan. I was a skeptic, but how can I not believe when you have a quarterback stepping up in the pocket like this, making plays with his arm with the deep ball, and then running the ball like he is in critical third downs? I mean, the Steelers were so good at picking up third downs in this game, and it made the difference as to why they won. They're great on third down, and they were great when they were under pressure as well. Most of these plays are on third down, and Russell Wilson doing everything he can to make a play and pick up the first down. And Jaylen Warren, man, he needs more touches, way more touches. I personally think he's a better football player than Najee Harris, but Najee has had a good season, so I understand why. Nobody becomes open here. So they're going to run an out route here with 88, and then what they're going to do is they're going to run this guy around. So he's going to run around and a go route here, and then this guy's going to come across the middle. They're hoping that one of these breaks open, hoping that if it's a man-to-man coverage, one of these has to break open. I think he's looking for this guy here on the outside, but there is way too much pressure. George Pickens was open. He actually runs a very nice route here. He runs slants and out routes, some of the best in the NFL, and Jaylen Warren just slips out. He gets out of a sack, Russ does, and dumps it off for a first down, and you'll see it work to absolute perfection here. I mean, you can just see there's a guy in his face. He recognizes that this guy coming in, this guy's going to be open. It's third down. Look how much room he has. Just taking what's in front of him. And I think part of the reason why they went to Russell Wilson is because of plays like this. When it is in front of you, take it. And also, that should have been a flag here, and they picked it up. It should have been a horse collar tackle. I don't care what anybody says. When you grab the back of the head, what is the difference? But Russ just being able to maneuver in the pocket like he does it's incredible, man. It's like he's back in Seattle. This is the stuff he did in Seattle that he didn't do in Denver, and it must have been coaching or something. But shout out to Arthur Smith and shout out to Russell Wilson. If you're watching the game as a fan, it's just a pitch and catch. Super simple. But to me, this is what makes the Steelers such a threat, is George Pickens, number one, and Russ giving George Pickens more opportunities. This is what's going to take Pittsburgh to the next level on offense, having that wide receiver one. And now you add Mike Williams, and they have so many weapons now. Omar, I believe, did a very, very great job this offseason, number one, and at the trade deadline. And you can just see here what they're going to run is basically this guy's just going to sit right here as a decoy, and Russ is going to read this linebacker. If this linebacker drops to here, he can come back underneath or go over here. Over here is more of just a dump off option, not much going on here, but he's just reading these two, seeing what's going on with everybody over here. This guy stays here. I don't know what Bobby Wagner, I believe that's Bobby Wagner. I don't know what he's doing, and George Pickens runs wide open. You're going to have to double George Pickens, but for Russ to put this on a dime in his chest, letting his playmaker go and make a play, and then George Pickens does the rest. He picks up like 25 more yards after the catch, and that is what makes him so dangerous. One, he's great at route running. Two, he's great with his hands. And three, he is great at yards after the catch. The only thing with, George Pickens is the attitude, but if he keeps getting the ball and Russ keeps feeding him, I don't think we're going to have a problem there. This is why it's so critical for people to actually watch the games and not just look at the stat book, because looking at the stat book, you see that Russ threw a pick. This was the interception. It was 3rd down, and I believe 10. It is an arm punt. They have to pick up the 1st down. He's trying to make a play. Not a big deal. He tosses it about 50, 55 yards down the field. So it's just as good as a punt. Now, the guy was rolled down. Good thing George Pickens touched him, because if not, it could have been bad. But George Pickens, again, just running a great double move. It honestly wasn't anything spectacular. I'm kind of surprised that this guy fell for it. And the problem is Russ actually tries to look this direction. So this guy's going to come across here, and this guy's just going to be a decoy. So what Russ wants to do is look off this safety by looking here to this guy, and hopefully he comes down and then goes to Pickens for a touchdown. And Pickens gets open, and I see exactly why Russ went to him, because he did have an opening. He did be his guy. And for Russ to make this on the move, the offensive line just has to play better. When he's pressured like this, he has to make unbelievable throws, which he did a couple times in this game. And you can even see right here, I mean, look at this double move right here. Gets him coming here, and then he's going to take the inside route. And it's just a perfect job by Pickens, and an unbelievable, I mean, this safety knew it was coming the entire time. Russ didn't have time to look off this safety here. He wanted to come here. If you go back, let me go back right here. If you go back, you can see his eyes. He's trying to look in the middle of the field towards this guy, so this safety can come down, but obviously the pressure hurts that. He's rolling to his left. Now the safety is going to obviously roll over the top, and it just breaks it loose. And Russ, for him to even get that off and to even put it that far is nuts for his age. Like, this was something that Broncos fans were complaining about with Russ, is that he didn't have the long ball as much anymore. And in Pittsburgh, he's got it. He still has unbelievable arm talent. And he still kind of threw it a little bit too far, but that's still super impressive to even get a shot for your receiver to make a play. Before we continue, I just want to remind you that this YouTube channel is sponsored by SeatGeek. SeatGeek is a great ticket app that I use every single week for my Ravens season tickets. I also only use them when I go on the road. So I got tickets to the Tampa Bay game and to the Pittsburgh game that's coming up in November, only through SeatGeek. And if you guys want $20 off, just click the link in the description, download the app, and use my code YAPMATT, YAPMATT. It's also on the screen here. If you guys want to support me, that is the way you guys can do it. And also, just a reminder, hit that subscribe button. Let's get back into it. This play is Pittsburgh's bread and butter. 3rd down again, they pick it up. And I don't understand why the Commanders weren't playing more press against George Pickens, because he just gets open. Look how much separation is right here. And I understand that it's 3rd down and you don't want to get beat, but the middle of the field is wide open, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Pickens is just going to run like a deep slant route. This guy's going to run an out route, and Russ is just going to look at this side. This is why it's their bread and butter. Get this guy out. This guy is too far back. Throw it across the middle. Let your guy go make a play. And Russ, that's the difference, man. He can make this throw consistently all day, on the money. And it is so important. I know it looks like an easy throw, but it is so important you throw it out in front of a receiver who is great with yards after the catch, so he can get a head start and get the 1st down. Just great job by Russell Wilson. Great job by George Pickens. I mean, he's just a great route runner. But for me, for Baltimore, it's going to be tough because they don't play great pass defense, and you're going to have to play tight against George Pickens, or else you're going to get cooked all game long. Remember just the last clip I said you should press George Pickens? It actually works, and this is the best throw from Russell Wilson all day. He is going to Pickens this entire way. It doesn't matter how many times you run man-to-man, he's going to Pickens every single time they're running man. This guy's going to run out. They do like the same kind of things. They try to see if there's man here, and they read between the two guys on Pickens' side. It's that simple in this offense. I think that's what makes it so easy for Russ. But at the same time, You have to make throws like this. He also recognizes, you'll see a flag. He recognizes that one of these guys, I'm not sure who it was, but he recognized that someone was offsides. I'm trying to see who exactly, because they called it here, but maybe this guy here? I think he's just barely offsides. But Russ sees the flag and he just lets it go. He was going to Pickens the entire time. Look at this ball placement. Look at the defender. What is he supposed to do? I think that's St. Juice, and I know a lot of people have gotten on St. Juice. There is nothing he can do here. The ball placement was perfect. You cannot throw a better football than that. That's a better throw to me than the touchdown. And this is a 2nd and 10. You're down in the 4th quarter. You got to make a play. You recognize that you can try and make this throw because of the flag. Look at this. This St. Juice, I think that's who it is. He's playing perfectly, but the ball is just in the only spot that he can get. That's an insane throw, man. And Pickens is one of the best receivers on the sideline. He is truly becoming an elite wide receiver one in this offense, and it has taken them to a whole nother level. This was the most underrated play of the day from Russell Wilson that nobody's going to talk about, but it should be. We're in a 2nd and 16. Now, they don't pick up the first down, but the fact that he even completes this pass is unbelievable, and it's so important because, number one, you get on the opponent's side of the field in the 4th quarter, and on 3rd down, it becomes way more manageable. I believe it turned into a 3rd down and 4 instead of a 3rd down and 16 or whatever it was. And Russ, once again, the Commanders disguised this perfectly. They're going to have 88 just run in the middle of the field right here. He can either sit or I think he can go depending on how the defense is playing. And for him, he sat because he didn't see anybody. He recognizes that this guy gets out. And I believe 1 or 11, I think it's 11. I don't think 1 played. He comes, or no, he did play, I'm sorry. But he comes over here. They disguise this. And Russ is actually going to try to throw this ball, but he pump fakes because he sees it late. And actually, this guy runs open for a second, but then Russ just does Russ things. If he would have thrown this ball, it might have gotten picked off. And that is the difference in a veteran. Look how they disguise this. It looks like he's going to be on, I believe that's Calvin Austin, and he's just going to sneak up behind him right there. And Russ is pump faking right there. He sees the guy behind him. Could he have thrown this ball? Yes, but it's kind of in the traffic. And also at the same time, if he comes here, this guy just played this perfectly, and then this guy comes down. So Russ escapes to one side. Nobody's open. He's going to go all the way back around to the other side and make an almost impossible throw to, I believe, Calvin Austin on the money. The only spot that Calvin Austin could have caught this pass. Unbelievable. And nobody talked about it this week, which was very surprising because if you go back and watch, and if this turns into a 3rd and 16, I don't know if the Steelers actually win this game. I really don't. This is probably the play of the game next to the Mike Williams touchdown that's obviously coming up. But, I mean, to go from one side, escape a sack here, should have been sacked. Nope, can't catch me. And then to see that he's coming, great job by Austin too, coming back for the ball and Russ throwing it exactly where he's going to be. The only spot where he can catch it, just unbelievable stuff. It's like he's in his prime again. I hate it. I hate it as a Ravens fan, but I cannot deny it. Also, I just want to mention, I know the green screen, you can see the black. When it's dark in my room, it's getting dark at 5 o'clock now. So the light projects and then it shows my big head on the back, as you can see. So I apologize for that. But touchdown to Mike Williams, game over, game winner. I mean, amazing stuff here from Russ. The only player he could go to, pressure in his face, trusting a player in his first game. I know Mike Williams feels awesome. And the throw is just, wow, man. Not a lot of quarterbacks can make this throw. Not a lot can. I mean, the pressure was there. It was 3rd down. Once again, 3rd down. Great move here from 92. Great job here from 4. Getting inside, putting pressure on him. He is off his back foot. This is all arm. I didn't think he had this in his bag anymore. Oh my good, My goodness. The only spot where Mike Williams can catch it. That is just unreal. It's unreal. It's blowing my mind because I didn't think Russ had these tricks up his sleeve anymore. And he obviously does. And he's worked hard at it. And I know the Denver thing probably got into his head, but he has fixed it. And I know that people think that he's corny, but he works hard at what he does, man. Shout out to Russ. Great work. Offense is back in Pittsburgh, but now we have to give a grade for Russell Wilson. I'm not going to lie. There was only one play where he missed a throw or a read, and I took it out because there was no point in it. It was very early in the game. I think it was his first throw of the game. After that, he was spectacular. And the interception to me doesn't count for Russ. It's more of an arm punt, like people like to call Josh Allen's touchdowns. I am giving Russ an A+. And I know that's an ugly A+. It's always ugly. But Russ, man, great performance. Willed your team to a win. If he wasn't out there, I don't think Pittsburgh wins this game. He also had the cadence where he got the Commanders offsides. That was a cool moment too. Veteran stuff. He's awesome, man. He's done a great job. And as a Ravens fan, I'm kind of terrified with the defense playing the way that it is. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. If you guys can do me a favor and just hit the subscribe button, that's how you guys can support me. Also, if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, comment below and let me know where I need to go in Pittsburgh. Look out, I'm doing my first YouTube video for a review of a stadium. I usually do it on TikTok, but we're going to move it to YouTube. So let me know where I need to go in the comments. Tailgates, anywhere. I'm going to wear my Ravens stuff. I would like to meet some of you guys. So if any of you guys are Pittsburgh fans and want to be in the video, I'd love to see you guys. Thank you guys so much. Hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you in Pittsburgh on Saturday and Sunday.